This is a bad dream.
I'm sorry, man. It's not a dream. Afraid I got the hots for Dana.
Picture a family sitcom where babies age 5 years overnight. Beloved characters vanish without explanation, and the entire show's lakeside setting is a digital lie. Yet somehow became a TGIF staple for 7 seasons. Behind the wholesome facade of the Lambert-Foster clan lurked bizarre casting mishaps, domestic violence scandals, accidental fires, and Hollywood's most infamous shower scene resurrection. Here are 15 weird facts you didn't know about. Step-by-step fact 1. The opening credits are a geographic impossibility. Every week for 7 seasons, millions of viewers watched the Lambert-Foster family ride a roller coaster in what was supposedly their hometown of Port Washington, Wisconsin. The only problem is that everything about those opening credits was geographically impossible. The show prominently featured Six Flags Magic Mountain's famous Colossus roller coaster, which is located in Valencia, California, more than 2,000 miles away from Wisconsin. Even more bizarre, the beautiful lakeside setting that appeared behind the roller coaster was completely fabricated. The production team digitally added a shoreline over what was actually the theme park's parking lot. But perhaps the most glaring impossibility that somehow escaped notice for years was the presence of mountains looming in the background. Port Washington, Wisconsin sits along the shores of Lake Michigan in an area known for its flat terrain and complete lack of mountainous landscapes. The San Gabriel Mountains visible behind the roller coaster are distinctly Californian and would be impossible to see anywhere in Wisconsin. This geographic deception created one of television's most blatant continuity errors. Yet most viewers never questioned why a Wisconsin lakeside town featured California mountains and a theme park 2,000 miles away. The Colossus roller coaster itself became so iconic to the show's identity that it appeared in every single episode's opening sequence, cementing the impossible location in television history. The digitally manipulated lakeside imagery combined with real footage from Valencia created a fictional landscape that existed nowhere on Earth, making Port Washington one of the most geographically confused settings in sitcom history. Fact 2. Future X-Men star played JT's perverted friend.
So, Al, you just happened to be hanging around the 6th grade lockers when he was talking to Max,
Before James Marsden became a household name as Cyclops in the X-Men film franchise, he appeared on Step by Step in a role that would make his future superhero fans cringe. Marsden played Rich Hulk, described by cast members as JT's perverted friend who showed up in several early episodes. The character was written as the stereotypical hormone-driven teenage boy who constantly ogled the girls in the Lambert-Foster household, particularly Dana. What makes this casting even more bizarre is that Rich eventually ended up dating Dana, the very girl he had spent episodes leering at inappropriately. The transition from creepy friend to romantic interest happened with virtually no character development or explanation, creating one of the show's more uncomfortable storylines. Marsden was just starting his acting career at the time, and like many young actors in the early 1990s, he took whatever roles he could get on popular sitcoms. The character of Rich appeared sporadically throughout the show's run before being quietly written out as Marsden's career began taking off. Looking back at these episodes now, after Marsden went on to star in major franchises like X-Men, Enchanted, and Westworld, the awkward teenage pervert character feels like a footnote from another lifetime. Cast members have joked about Marsden's early appearance in interviews, acknowledging how strange it is to see a now-famous actor playing such an uncomfortable character type that was unfortunately common in 1990s sitcoms. Fact 3. Mark's original actor was fired for hair color.
Are you fixing to get up today?
Who are you?
Well, I'm JT, your half-wit son, remember? Huh?
When Step by Step filmed its pilot episode, producers cast a young actor named Jarrett Lennon to play Mark Foster, the youngest child in Carol's family. Everything seemed fine until someone in the production team realized they had created a massive continuity problem that would be visible in every single episode. The show's concept relied on visual clarity between the two blended families, with Frank's children all having dark hair, while Carol's children were supposed to be blonde. This color coding helped viewers instantly identify which kids belonged to which parent, especially important in a show about two families merging. Unfortunately, Jarrett Lennon had brown hair, which completely destroyed the visual family dynamic the producers wanted to establish. Rather than giving the young actor a blonde wig or dyeing his hair, the production made the harsh decision to fire Lennon and recast the role with Christopher Castile, who had naturally blonde hair that matched his on-screen siblings. The recasting happened quickly, with Castile taking over the role starting with the second episode. However, in their rush to fix the hair color problem, the producers made an embarrassing mistake that would haunt the show for its entire run. They forgot to reshoot the opening credits, which meant that Jarrett Lennon's brunette Mark appeared in the iconic roller coaster sequence for every episode, even though Christopher Castile played the character in the actual show. For 7 seasons and 160 episodes, viewers saw one actor in the opening credits and a completely different blonde actor playing Mark in every episode. Fact 4. Cody was literally set on fire during filming.
That's too bad, because I really hate fighting. Somebody always ends up in the emergency room, and you got to fill out all those forms. And
behind the family-friendly facade of Step by Step, the cast and crew engaged in stunts that by today's standards would likely result in criminal charges and immediate production shutdowns. During one particularly dangerous scene that involved a backyard explosion, the production team decided the best approach was to actually set Sasha Mitchell on fire. Cast members have discussed this incident in reunion interviews with a mixture of horror and disbelief at what they were allowed to do in the early 1990s. According to their accounts, the crew basically lit him on fire for a scene where Cody's character was supposed to be caught in some kind of explosion or accident in the Lambert backyard. Mitchell emerged from the stunt covered in smoke, having just survived being engulfed in flames for the sake of a sitcom gag. The cast has openly admitted that the safety standards on their show would be absolutely unacceptable by modern production rules. In various interviews, cast members have stated they would be arrested for some of the things they did during filming, acknowledging how drastically safety regulations and oversight have improved in Hollywood since the 1990s. The fact that a network family sitcom thought nothing of literally setting their star on fire speaks to how differently television production operated 3 decades ago. No detailed safety protocols, minimal stunt coordination, and apparently no one questioning whether burning an actor alive was perhaps excessive for a TGIF comedy show about blended family life. Fact 5. The show's most popular character was fired.
Ice cream sandwich? Yeah, that does sound pretty good.
You want rye or whole wheat?
Mid-series Cody Lambert, played by Sasha Mitchell, became the breakout character of Step by Step, with his dim-witted surfer dude personality making him a fan favorite throughout the show's run. However, Mitchell's off-screen legal troubles led to one of the most dramatic mid-series cast changes in sitcom history. During the show's 5th season, Mitchell was convicted of domestic violence and child endangerment charges, though he maintained his innocence throughout the legal proceedings. The charges stemmed from allegations involving his then-wife, and Mitchell's conviction included violating probation, which resulted in him serving 30 days in jail. The production had no choice but to fire their most popular cast member, creating a massive hole in the show's dynamic. For most of Season 5 and all of Season 6, Cody was written out of the show with various explanations about him being away. The character's absence was felt immediately by both the cast and the audience, as Cody had been central to many of the show's funniest moments and storylines. However, in a surprising turn of events, after Mitchell served his sentence and continued to fight the charges, the show invited him back for a brief cameo appearance in Season 7. The character returned for just one episode, giving fans a chance to see Cody one final time before the series ended. Mitchell's legal situation was eventually resolved, and he later won a civil suit related to the charges, but the damage to his career had already been done. The firing of such a beloved character midway through the series remains one of the most shocking behind-the-scenes moments in TGIF history. Fact 6. Baby Lily. Aged 5 years between seasons.
I believe Dana was in that guy's car.
Step by Step pulled off one of television's most blatant examples of a soap opera trick known as Sorosing, which stands for Soap Opera Rapid Aging Syndrome. In Season 4, Carol gave birth to baby Lily, the surprise child who represented the ultimate blending of the Lambert and Foster families. Lily appeared as a realistic newborn infant throughout Season 4, with all the typical baby storylines involving diapers, crying, and sleepless nights. Season 5 continued showing Lily as a young toddler, maybe 2 years old at most, still unable to speak in complete sentences. Then something absolutely impossible happened between seasons. When Season 6 premiered, baby Lily had somehow transformed into a fully verbal 5-year-old child, complete with complex dialogue, storylines, and interactions with the other kids. The show offered absolutely no explanation for how their youngest child had aged roughly 5 years in what should have been less than 1 year of showtime. This wasn't a subtle recast or a minor age adjustment. This was a complete transformation that required the audience to pretend they hadn't noticed that an infant had suddenly become a kindergartner. The producers apparently decided that baby storylines had run their course, and they needed Lily to be old enough to participate in actual plots, so they simply aged her up without any regard for logic or continuity. This type of rapid aging was common in daytime soap operas, where child characters needed to grow up quickly to create teenage drama, but it was relatively rare in primetime sitcoms. The fact that Step by Step thought viewers would simply accept this impossible time jump shows how little the production cared about maintaining any sense of realistic timeline. Fact 7. Brendan simply disappeared with no explanation.
Still got the love Jones for you?
Night and day, Code Man. She's all over me like Ben Gay on a bad joint.
Josh Byrne played Brendan Lambert, one of Frank's children from his previous marriage, for the first 6 seasons of Step by Step. Brendan was a regular character with his own storylines, relationships, and role in the family dynamic. Then, without warning or explanation, Brendan Lambert vanished from existence. When Season 7 began, Brendan was simply gone, with no mention of where he went, why he left, or whether anyone in the family even noticed his absence. The most bizarre part of this disappearance was that Frank and Carol continued to claim throughout Season 7 that they had 7 children, even though only 6 kids ever appeared on screen. The show never addressed this mathematical impossibility or explained where their missing child had gone. Unlike other character departures that received at least a throwaway line about going to college or moving away, Brendan received nothing. He was simply erased from the family as if he had never existed. According to reports, Josh Byrne quit acting after leaving the show, reportedly to pursue his passion for attending Renaissance fairs. This unusual post-acting career choice meant that Brendan Lambert's final fate was attending jousting tournaments and eating turkey legs at medieval-themed festivals around the country. The show's refusal to acknowledge his departure created countless continuity errors in the final season, with the family discussing their 7 children while viewers could clearly count only 6. No other major sitcom character has been quite so thoroughly memory-holed, making Brendan's vanishing act one of the strangest cast departures in television history. Fact 8. Patrick Duffy's wife. Invented Dallas's dream season.
It's like my brain is this giant satellite dish, sucking up all the infomercials of the universe. Wait a minute. Incoming.
Patrick Duffy brought significant baggage from his previous role as Bobby Ewing on Dallas when he joined Step by Step, though Frank Lambert was definitely not a dream character like Bobby famously was. On Dallas, Bobby Ewing was killed off in 1985 when Patrick Duffy decided to leave the series. An entire season of Dallas played out without Bobby, showing how the Ewing family dealt with his death. However, when Duffy decided he wanted to return to the show, the writers faced an impossible challenge of bringing back a very dead character. The solution they came up with became one of the most infamous moments in television history. In the final scene of Dallas's 8th season, Bobby's wife Pam walked into her bathroom and found Bobby alive and well in the shower. The entire previous season, including Bobby's death and everything that happened afterward, was revealed to have been Pam's dream. Fans were outraged at this lazy storytelling, but what most people don't know is that the dream idea didn't come from the show's writers at all. According to Patrick Duffy, the shower scene dream concept was actually invented by his late wife, Carlin Rosser. She came up with the idea as a way to bring Duffy's character back to the show without having to explain how a dead person could suddenly be alive again. The writers seized on this suggestion and created one of television's most mocked plot devices. When Duffy later joined Step by Step, producers made absolutely certain that Frank Lambert was a real character with no dream sequences explaining away his existence. Fact 9. Perfect Strangers Balky replaced the show's breakout star.
Be still, my lunch.
Hey, yo, Dana, what do you think? You want to do something tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to do something, but it's a felony.
After Sasha Mitchell was fired from Step by Step following his legal troubles, the show desperately needed to fill the comedic void left by losing their most popular character. The producer's solution was to bring in another beloved TGIF sitcom character, hoping lightning would strike twice. Bronson Pinchot, famous for playing the lovable foreigner Balky Bartokomous on Perfect Strangers, joined the cast in Season 6 as Jean-Luc Riopeyroux, a French hairdresser and beautician who rented space in the Lambert household. The character was clearly designed to recapture the same kind of fish-out-of-water foreign humor that had made Balky such a hit, but with a French twist instead of a Mediterranean island twist. Unfortunately for everyone involved, the character of Jean-Luc flopped spectacularly. Audiences who loved Cody's surfer dude stupidity had no interest in a flamboyant French beautician making baguette jokes. The chemistry that made Balky work on Perfect Strangers simply didn't translate to Step by Step, and Jean-Luc quickly became one of the show's most disliked additions. Bronson Pinchot himself seemed to realize the character wasn't working, and he left Step by Step after just one season to star in a new sitcom called Migo. Migo featured Pinchot as an alien from outer space who crash lands on Earth and becomes a nanny to a suburban family. The show lasted only one season and 13 episodes before being canceled. Jean-Luc disappeared from Step by Step with minimal explanation, and the show never attempted to replace him, apparently learning their lesson about trying to artificially recreate the magic of a departed fan-favorite character. Fact 10. Steve Urkel crash-landed in their backyard.
1/3 bend, bend, and fold. See? Good towel. Better towel.
Step by Step wasted no time establishing itself as part of the TGIF universe, featuring a bizarre crossover with Family Matters in only its second-ever episode. The crossover began on Family Matters, where Steve Urkel's latest scientific invention, a rocket pack, malfunctioned as these things always did. Urkel went flying out of control through the Chicago sky and somehow managed to crash land in the Lambert-Foster backyard in Port Washington, Wisconsin, which would be a roughly 80-mile flight, even if we accept the rocket pack physics. The crossover was classic early 1990s television, where shows on the same network would randomly share characters regardless of whether the crossover made any logical sense. Urkel appeared in full character, complete with his nasally voice, suspenders, and oversized glasses, stumbling into the Lambert household and immediately causing chaos. The plot involved Urkel getting dumped by his date, which led to him staying around to help Al Lambert prepare for a school dance. The episode tried to create comedy from the contrast between Urkel's nerdy awkwardness and the Lambert-Foster family's own dysfunction, but mostly it just felt like two completely different shows crashing into each other. What made this crossover particularly strange was the timing, appearing in Step by Step's second episode when the show was still trying to establish its own identity and characters. Rather than letting the new show build its own audience, ABC immediately forced it to piggyback on Family Matters' popularity. The crossover did bring in viewers, but it also set a precedent for TGIF shows randomly sharing characters whenever ratings needed a boost. Fact 11. Christine Lakin sent Patrick Duffy Father's Day cards for years.
Yes, all right. Yeah.
All right, everybody, all hands on deck. Time to take Carol to the hospital.
While many television families maintain cordial professional relationships during filming and then drift apart once the cameras stop rolling, Christine Lakin and Patrick Duffy developed a genuine father-daughter bond that extended far beyond Step by Step's 7-season run. Lakin, who played Al Lambert throughout the entire series, became so close to Duffy during their years working together that she began sending him Father's Day cards every year. This tradition didn't stop when the show ended in 1998. According to both actors, Lakin continued sending Duffy Father's Day cards and Christmas cards for many years after Step by Step concluded, treating him with the same affection and respect she would show her own father. In interviews, both Lakin and Duffy have spoken warmly about their relationship, with Duffy expressing pride in watching Lakin grow from a young teenager into an adult actress during their time on the show. Lakin has credited Duffy with being a genuine mentor and father figure during some of the most formative years of her life. Unlike some child actors who look back on their television families with complicated feelings or professional distance, Lakin has consistently described the cast of Step by Step as a real family, with Duffy at the center as a stabilizing paternal presence. The fact that their relationship remained strong enough for Lakin to maintain holiday card traditions for years after the show ended speaks to the authentic connection they built during filming. This behind-the-scenes warmth stands in stark contrast to the show's sometimes chaotic production history and cast departures. Fact 12. The Colossus roller coaster caught fire after the show.
I sense trouble.
The Colossus roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain became inextricably linked to Step by Step's identity, appearing in the opening credits of every single episode for 7 seasons and 160 episodes. The massive white wooden roller coaster was one of the most recognizable landmarks in the show, despite being located 2,000 miles away from where the show was supposedly set. Built in 1978, Colossus was once the tallest and fastest dual-tracked wooden roller coaster in the world, making it perfect for the energetic family-focused opening sequence. The coaster operated for 36 years, entertaining millions of visitors who rode its steep drops and sharp turns. In 2014, Six Flags announced that Colossus would close permanently to make way for a new hybrid coaster called Twisted Colossus. The final rides on the original Colossus took place in August 2014, ending an era for both the theme park and Step by Step fans who associated the ride with the beloved sitcom. Then, just weeks after the final riders experienced the classic Colossus, disaster struck during the demolition process. On September 8, 2014, while crews were dismantling the iconic structure, a fire broke out that consumed portions of the wooden coaster, The fire required multiple fire trucks and firefighters to extinguish, and footage of the flames engulfing the structure circulated widely among roller coaster enthusiasts and step-by-step fans alike. The fire added a tragic final chapter to the story of one of television's most iconic opening credit locations, destroying the physical structure that had welcomed viewers into the Lambert-Foster household for an entire generation. Fact 13. Carol and Frank's sets were recycled from Family Matters.
Hey, you're Al Lambert, aren't you?
Who wants to know?
I'm Jackie Campbell. This is Helen and Tanya.
Budget-conscious television production has always relied on recycling sets between different shows, but Step by Step took this practice to an extreme level that gave viewers an eerie sense of déjà vu. Many of the interior sets used throughout Step by Step's run, particularly the house's main living areas, kitchen, and bedrooms, were actually recycled from previous Miller Boyett production shows. These sets had originally been built for Valerie, which aired from 1986 to 1991 and went through multiple title changes, including Valerie's Family and The Hogan Family. When Valerie ended, rather than destroying the expensive sets, the production company stored them and eventually repurposed them for Family Matters, which premiered in 1989. The Winslow family's house in Family Matters used many of these same set pieces, which meant that eagle-eyed viewers who watched both shows might have noticed familiar architectural details, doorways, and room layouts. When Step by Step premiered in 1991, the sets made yet another journey across the production lot to become the Lambert-Foster household. This created a bizarre situation where three completely different families in three different shows all appeared to live in houses with identical floor plans and architectural features. The recycling made perfect financial sense for the production company, as building new sets from scratch would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, it also meant that the TGIF universe felt strangely interconnected, with multiple families apparently shopping at the same furniture stores and hiring the same interior designers across different shows, set in different states. Fact 14. The show was canceled without a finale.
Oh, look, Mom. We're having ashes for lunch.
After 6 successful seasons on ABC as part of the legendary TGIF lineup, Step by Step made an unusual network jump to CBS for what would become its 7th and final season. This move was part of CBS's attempt to build its own family-friendly Friday night programming block to compete with ABC's dominance. However, the transition proved disastrous for the show's ratings and ultimately its survival. On CBS, Step by Step lost much of the built-in audience that had discovered it through TGIF's powerful brand recognition and lead-in shows. In February 1998, CBS made the decision to cancel Step by Step. But rather than making a formal announcement that would allow the producers to craft a proper series finale, the network simply stopped promoting the show. The remaining episodes that had already been filmed were burned off in June 1998, airing with minimal publicity or fanfare. This meant that Step by Step ended its 7-season run without any closure for the characters or the audience. There was no wedding finale, no tearful goodbye, no flash-forward showing where everyone ended up in the future. The show simply stopped airing new episodes and disappeared from television. According to people involved with the production, there had been plans for a proper series finale that would have featured Dana and Rich's wedding, bringing back James Marsden's character for a full-circle moment. However, the cancellation came too abruptly for these plans to be executed, leaving the Lambert-Foster family story permanently unfinished and denying fans any sense of resolution after investing 7 years in these characters. Fact 15. Sasha Mitchell also played on Dallas before Step by Step.
Don't eat that. Hey, spit it out. Now, come on, Brendan, spit it out. Out, now, spit it out. Brendan, you better spit out that cookie. Now, spit it out.
The connection between Patrick Duffy and Sasha Mitchell went far deeper than just their step-by-step family relationship, creating one of television's most confusing genealogical puzzles. Before joining Step by Step as the lovable, dim-witted nephew, Cody Lambert, Sasha Mitchell had a recurring role on Dallas, the primetime soap opera that had made Patrick Duffy a household name in the 1980s. On Dallas, Mitchell played James Richard Beaumont, who was revealed to be the illegitimate son of the show's villain, J.R. Ewing. This made Mitchell's character the nephew of Patrick Duffy's character, Bobby Ewing, since Bobby and J.R. were brothers in the Ewing family dynasty. The casting created a bizarre situation where Mitchell's television relationship with Duffy actually reversed between shows. On Dallas, Duffy was Mitchell's uncle, with Bobby serving as an occasional mentor figure to the troubled James. On Step by Step, Mitchell became Duffy's nephew again, but this time as Cody Lambert, Frank's late brother's son. This meant that actors who had played uncle and nephew on one show were now playing uncle and nephew on a completely different show in different roles. Despite this obvious connection, Patrick Duffy has insisted in interviews that he had nothing to do with Sasha Mitchell being cast on Step by Step. Duffy claims the casting was entirely the producer's decision, and any similarity between their Dallas relationship and their Step by Step relationship was purely coincidental. However, it seems unlikely that the producers weren't aware of the existing on-screen chemistry between the two actors when they decided to once again cast them in an uncle-nephew dynamic.